Hotel brothers and sisters, Black Power once again. It's your brother Shaka saying Kofi here. As always, giving honor to the Creator, giving honor to the ancestors. Chief of Staff, Brother Harris Abdul of the Street Law Soldiers. My sister, my in-laws, my father, my subscribers, supporters, and all of the brothers and sisters, as well as our ancestors who remain and are continually to fight for the liberation and salvation of our black nation. Now, part two of what I was discussing about the murder of our leaders. And when I say leaders, it doesn't have to be, Dr. King or Malcolm, that's just one category of our leaders. It's one segment of our leaders, one category. But we have had a lot of leaders in all other areas of the black community. Rap, entertainment, and the whole works. And I'm going to talk about a few entertainers, particularly his brother Pimp C, Chad Butler, who was one of the most realest, outspokenest rappers that ever existed in history, in black history. Well, in history. What happened with Pimp C was that as long as he went along with the pimp hoe bitch, suck my dick, let me eat your booty, let me kill a nigga, long as he stayed in that context, it was okay. And so when he began to speak about the homosexuality and all the rituals that were taking place in hip hop, all of a sudden he began to be arrested. His probation or parole was violated. And a lot of people say that, this brother here, Jay Prince, played a role into setting up the crime scene and setting up brother Pimp C for termination, based on the fact that Jay-Z, who was with Jay Prince. Now, let me show you something right quick. Once again, it was told that, Jay Prince may have played a major role in setting up brother Pimp C. Now, when Pimp C put out everybody that was involved in homosexual activity in the hip hop, that began to, people began to become paranoid, eyes began to open. It scared a lot of the closet homosexual rappers and people in the hip hop community that were gay. However, the reason being that it is said that Jay Prince may have played a major role in it, because Jay Prince, Irv Gotti, Suge Knight, and Damon Dash were supposedly putting together $30 million apiece to open up the first black hip hop music distribution company in history. As you know, Jay-Z went back in and ratted on these brothers and informed the so-called white Jews that run the industry, that own Jay-Z, that these brothers was going to open up this black distribution company and take back the music industry, which rightfully belongs to us. And this buck dancing ass, buck tooth motherfucking, Joe Camel looking motherfucking, jigaboo ass nigga went back and shoe shined and bit the balls of the white so-called Jew and dropped a dime on these brothers. And they all caught the wrath of these motherfucking crackers. Jay Prince being brought up on tax evasion, Irv Gotti being arrested on drug conspiracy, Suge Knight went back to jail on a bogus probation violation, and Damon Dash was caught up with the Alphabet Boys on some misappropriation of funds. And they were told, they were given an opportunity to make up for the betrayal that they placed upon the so-called white Jews. Now, ain't that a bitch? And so I know they all, are in cahoots with one another, because here's Jay Prince with Gay-Z, Slave-Z, champion boxer Andre Ward, at a party. So the same motherfucker that ratted on you, you're sitting there and you invited him to your party to sit and take pictures and have a good time. This is how fucked up the game is. And so when Pimp C was calling on a lot of bullshit, that's when the orders went in to get rid of Pimp C. So when he went back in the concentration camp, he went and dug and began to become conscious, reading several hundred books, digging in, finding out who he really was. And he had put together a plan that he was going to come out on fire and bring the fucking pain to these motherfucking crackers and these house niggas and these fucking fags in the industry. And so once released, that's what he did. He went to work. And got with some real goddamn G's, Too Short and some other G's. And he started putting motherfuckers on blast. And like I always tell you, these devils find out what your weakness is or what you do socially, if it's out of order or if it's illegal, and they use that as a way to cause your demise. So it wasn't no secret that Pimp C, had an addiction to codeine, that scissor and all that bullshit and them fucking pills. And so when he went in the belly of the beast, he cleaned himself up. He came out fresh, new. His dialect had changed. He talked on a more intelligent level. He still had his southern drawl, his dirty South Southern drawl, which everybody now tries to emulate, like they're from the South. And Pimp C was putting motherfuckers on blast. He wrote a semi-pamphlet called The Chronicles of Pimp C, in which he blasted on all the homosexuals. Neo, Russell Simmons, Will Smith. He put them all on blast. And so what they did, they got a woman, some goddamn skeezer, a bed wench, that was working for these so-called white Jews of the industry. See, you got these bed wenches that specifically go around setting niggas up for these goddamn crackers. And that's what she did. She set them up, and Pimp C was, I believe he was held down and force-fed massive amounts of this codeine, of this scissor. Because, and then was now his body, according to the coroner's report, he had enough codeine in him, you know, to actually knock a horse down. So he had enough codeine in him to massively overdose 5 or 6 people easily. So how was it that he was able to ingest that, and then it was codeine and other paraphernalia, pills and shit at the at the crime scene? Because it was a crime scene, because the crime was committed, called murder. And the bed wench hoe that works for the white imposter Jew has never been found or never been discussed. And that's very mysterious. Why hasn't she been found and pulled up, put the razor to her throat, and make her give out all the information of who sent her to help take this brother out? And it's never been done. That's what you call justice. Holding court in the black community. Nevertheless, he was murdered. So rest in power, Brother Chad Butler. You actually was the one that started the entire exposing this Illuminati. You, along with Pop, actually were the ones who exposed these motherfucking devils. You know, and you lost your lives in doing so. But you're not forgotten, brother. You're not forgotten. Because as a result of you and Pop, you know, I was able to intensify and enhance my investigative research. Eazy, who was murdered as well. And we all know how he was murdered, what took place, how it went down. We all know, even through Bones Thugs and Harmony, which even though they admitted it, they never go into detail due to the fact of being in dire straits, financially, you know, economically strapped, and are finding the way to continue to survive in the industry without selling their souls, you know. But they had enough heart to say that Eazy was murdered, and it wasn't a secret. When, you know, when 1 and 2 put 2 and 2 together, really simple, you know.
Call from 1530806.
And you know, when you leave the cracker, you tell him you're gone. You take money out of his pocket, he's going to put the hit on you. And that's what happened. Now, the process of just how they administer the AIDS, you know, that came from help with hospital personnel had to assist Jerry Heller into making that happen. So, you know, it wasn't Jerry Heller that actually hooked Eazy up to those contaminated bags. That had to come through hospital personnel. You know, pretending that Eazy needs more blood and so on and so on. You know, wouldn't bring no suspicion to the family or visitors while Eazy was in critical care. But another thing, you know, Dr. Dre made fun of Eazy, Ice Cube, you know, normally they wouldn't do so because Eazy, out of all of them, was the hardest motherfucker. He was the only G out of the bunch. Dre and Cube and Ren, they were not G's. Ren was you can say that Ren was partially a G, but Easy was a straight G. Straight G. That's how they became filthy rich. So Dre and Cube should annually go around to Easy's parents and his children to make sure that they eat well, as well as Dre, to make sure they eat well, because it was Easy's money that started NWA, the drug money, the money that he grinded for. And see, and this is what I tell a lot of brothers, even though that's wrong, but still have a purpose to what you're doing. Don't get out here and poison the community so you can be the best dressed motherfucker. You know, put some purpose to it. Yeah, Easy knew it was wrong what he was doing. He was out there grinding, but he put the money to some use. He made billionaires and multimillionaires from that little bit of money that he invested creating NWA. And see, a lot of people forget about that. They look at Ice Cube as, you know, and Dr. Dre, you know, got the headphones and all this type of shit. They wouldn't have had nothing if it weren't for Easy bankrolling NWA, the creation of it. And then what you do in turn. You didn't help Easy with the business. You didn't school him. You just left without telling him or informing him that he was being used by Jerry Heller. You know, and so the movie depict him as he was this motherfucking playing as though, you know, he was you know, he knew exactly what he was doing, that he intentionally, you know, tried to hold Dre and Cube and him, and that wasn't the case. And they know that. But once again, they should annually make sure that Easy's family are eating, that they're eating well. And I mean well. Because once again, it was Easy's money that created these niggas. You know, so his born day is the same day as mine. You know. And Easy was a powerful brother. Powerful brother. Did not fear Suge Knight. Did not fear him. You know, his only fall was when he was confronted by Suge. And see, Jerry Heller told him not to retaliate only because Easy was a gold mine. Now, if they were broke, Jerry Heller probably would have convinced Easy to go kill Suge and at the same time rob him and take his money or extort him. That's how you know Jerry Heller was just using these brothers and split them up. Now, you know Jerry Heller had a lot of pull in the ADL and JDL. Because if you remember in the movie, when Ice Cube did the No Vaseline song, he mentioned Jerry Heller being an old dirty white Jew. And Jerry Heller responded that he will call his friends Abraham Foxman, Irv Rubin at the JDL and ADL and have them deal with Ice Cube. And that's when Cube went to Khalid Muhammad and shut all that bullshit up. So may the brother Easy rest in power. Keep on riding, soldier, and may your family continue to carry on your legacy. You know, all your decisions wasn't the right ones, but the right ones that you did make made a lot of people wealthy. ODB, who they thought was crazy, and this brother was not crazy. This brother had more sense than most other people in the entertainment business in hip hop at the time. He just did not know which way to turn. And so when he made a song with Mariah Carey, who turned on ODB, you know, she broke bread with him. They went out, you know, but when people influenced and got into her ear, saying to her that this man was some shit and he wasn't this, he was a dope fiend and all this, you know, she put him on blast. And Mariah Carey's white, and that's what the Snow Bunny does. Because he had no business fucking with him. However, everybody thought that he was fucked up because of the lyrics. His lyrics terrified people. And he called himself Jesus and Osiris. So he couldn't have been but so insane. You know, but Method Man and others who may have played a major role, because once ODB was found murdered, all of a sudden RZA, Method Man become stars in the movie industry. Method Man playing as a snitch on CSI in all types of movies. So was RZA. All of a sudden, after the passing of ODB, these niggas come up. They come up. And this is what they do. And the rest of them, you know, just made sure they was just fighting just to pay rent. They weren't picked. And Method Man was not the best rapper in the Wu-Tang Clan. Let's get that cleared up. He was just chosen for his allegiance to these motherfucking crackers. And so ODB, once again, when they find what your weaknesses are, this is basically going to be the way you'll meet your demise. So it wasn't no secret about ODB dealing with drugs. And so what better way to murder someone and put this struggle and surround them with this struggle? Now, how can you be laying out in the winter and the drugs are surrounding you with the wind blowing? Crime scene was set up. And see, a lot of people that have forgotten about him. Russell Jones. May he rest in power. Dr. Sebi, who never read a book, self-educated, self-taught, who from holistic and natural herbs cured every disease, common disease, chronic disease known to man in the black community. AIDS, anything you name, cancer, he cured them. And what happened as a result of him having a cure for these diseases, instead of receiving a Nobel Peace Prize, he was put in prison. This was in New York. And he was released on the condition that he would not publicly print anything in any of the major newspapers across the country that he had the cure for these diseases. And why do you think he was arrested for having cure for diseases? You and I know that. A baby can put that together. Because these man-made diseases are meant to destroy the black people on the planet.
And if he has the cure and starts curing people, waking people up, doctors, the pharmaceutical companies, they would lose trillions. They would lose trillions. And so he had a camp in Honduras where Eddie Murphy, Left Eye, Michael Jackson, and several others visited his camp in Honduras for 30-day cleansing. Even Oprah Winfrey, I believe. And he cured everyone that came on the island of anything that was ailing them, any ailment. You know, born in 1933, he cured AIDS, cancer, leukemia, arthritis, herpes, sickle cell, diabetes, lupus, fibroid tumors, mental illness, epilepsy, and more. He cured them, not suppressed them. He cured them. And so what happened in Honduras, they had to get rid of Dr. Sebi. He became to be known. Because Lisa Left Eye Lopes from TLC, when she went over to Honduras, she began to bring gangbangers, began to bring sisters and brothers over there for cleansing and healing, in which gang violence decreased in Atlanta as a result of Dr. Sebi's Honduras camp. And so they had to get rid of him, no matter where he was at. Like I told you, all 196,940,000 square miles of the planet Earth, this cracker is everywhere. And everything he touches turns to shit. And so Dr. Sebi was arrested in Honduras for having money on him. Believe over $30,000. Who do you know goes to jail, in prison, for having money in their pocket? These were orders. These were orders from the Obama administration. And I'll tell you why. Because, see, that Obamacare would no longer be needed if everyone took a holistic approach. Once again, the pharmaceutical companies would be ran out of business. They would have been run out of business. Doctors would have lost their salaries, the bulk of their salaries, for all of the patients. Everyone with ailments in the black community would have been getting Dr. Sebi's packages. And what we should have done as the black community should have protected him, provided him with security, and made sure he was okay. This brother is he's really badly needed right now. For the foods, the way that they have fucked this food up, and the chemical ingestion that our babies go through every single fucking day. He is needed now more than ever. And when he got there, he did not eat. He fasted, went on a 30-day fast. And they gave him tuberculosis. And they murdered him. Choked to death to induce a heart attack. But when he was forced to take that TB shot, they injected a TB virus into his system. That his system bucked on that virus. And that's how Dr. Sebi met his he met his demise. He met his demise as a result of this cracker, with the help of Barack Obama, sending orders to Honduras to take this man out. If I had excuse me, because the light, these camera lights, they kind of blind me. So a lot of times I have to close my eyes. So forgive me. This is Dr. Sebi. May he rest in power. He was wrapped in a fiberglass, covering over his coffin, because of what they done to this man's body. And they, he was not properly, taken care of after he passed. Nevertheless, may the brother rest in power. And once again, he is needed now more than ever. More than ever. A soldier that was fearless. He was an elder he remained fearless throughout his entire life. And we must give him much credit for that. Steve Cokely, my favorite researcher. I learned a lot from Steve Cokely. I used to hold his books, follow him everywhere, wherever I could. Cokely was a master researcher. He done the investigation to find out who Jesse Jackson's involvement in the King assassination, as well as everyone who was involved. He also exposed Sigma Pi Phi, the Boule, a black fraternity, which its job and mission is to protect white supremacy and keep the other blacks at a subordinate, below level. Steve Cokely. There wasn't no researcher that I've known that was more thorough, that was more powerful than Steve Cokely. And he did not have